let's talk about the goddamn mess that WWE has put themselves in. Look, I love the guys that are carrying the company right now. Guys like, Seth, Cody, Punk, Randy, Cena, Roman. I love all these guys. But let's get one thing straight. These guys aren't going to be around forever. They're all pushing 40 or past it. And the sad reality is that WWE's been so obsessed with their past stars and old timers that they've completely ignored the future. Over the past few months or so, almost every single main eventer in WWE, the guys that have been doing the heavy lifting, for the past year or so, for the past 2 to 3 years, all of them have been talking about how they're getting closer to retirement. All of them. I mean, you have guys like, Cena, CM Punk, and Randy Orton that's right in front of our faces, These guys are 48 something, I don't even know. They probably have a couple of years at best. CM Punk said it himself, the company's trying to get him to sign a 5-year contract, but he doesn't want to do it. He's not sure. He's not sure if he can even wrestle that long. John Cena is obviously retiring the end of this year, and then you have the current stars that, current stars, quote unquote, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. These guys have been going out there and saying that they're probably going to retire soon as well. Seth Rollins has said that he probably has 5 good years in them. And that's doubtful too, because this guy has a broken everything. A broken knee, a broken back. You get the point. He has a broken everything. So yeah, we don't even know if he can go for 5 more years, And then you have Roman Reigns, who's made it pretty clear over the past few years or so that he's going to be leaving WWE for Hollywood, pretty soon. And now he outright said it himself. He said he has 1 or maybe 2 years max. And then he's going to take up a role in Hollywood or something. I don't even know. So there we go. Already 2 of the biggest stars in WWE right now, 2 people that are actually doing the heavy lifting in WWE right now, just gone. They're going to be gone in maybe 3 to 4 years. And then you have guys like, Cody Rhodes. Now, Cody Rhodes, he used to say that he's going to retire by 40. That's what he used to say. But obviously he's not going to do that now because, he is 40 now. But that's another problem. The face of the company right now is 40 years old. So yeah, he's going to try to milk this as much as possible. He's going to try to be on top of it for, as long as possible. But really, it's painfully obvious that he can't do it for long, Cody Rhodes is simply not going to be the face of the company for as long as guys like John Cena, And again, just like Seth Rollins, I think he has 4 or 5 good years in him as a full-timer. Now, these are just the main guys I'm talking about. The top tier of main event talent in WWE. When you look at the second tier of main event talent in WWE, they're all damn near pushing 40 as well. Guys like Gunther, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and unfortunately now Jey Uso as well. Yeah, Jey Uso, dude. Jey Uso is going on interviews and saying that he's nearing the end of his career. Oh, I want to be a bad guy for the last time before I end my career. What do you mean before you end your career, man? You literally just won the World Heavyweight Championship and you're already talking about ending your career? Come on. That's the state we're in right now. And you have guys like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, unfortunately, he has a pretty serious injury right now. I just hope he's healthy and he comes back to the ring, as soon as possible. But obviously for his safety and all that stuff, he's going to have to tone down what he does in the ring when he comes back. And I think he would have to hang it up sooner than expected. And Gunther is 37, 38, I'm pretty sure as well. And then, you have guys like LA Knight, Drew McIntyre. All these guys are pushing 40 or, maybe over 40 as well. Even guys like Damian Priest, man. The lowest tier of main eventers, they're pushing 40 as well. So what the hell is this, man? You really think all of these guys are going to be carrying the WWE in 5 years? Nah, dude, no way. And it's not like WWE has been proactive in building up the next generation, to step into these roles either. Instead, they've relied on these older stars for so long that it's practically ingrained into their system to rely on these older guys. Whenever there's, WrestleMania around, they can barely rely on guys like, Cody Rhodes and, their current guys I'm talking about, like Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, all these guys that are showing up week to week. Instead of telling good stories with them, they always rely on guys like The Rock and John Cena to show up. They're still relying on the older guys. So their current top stars that are, showing up every single week, they're also pushing 40 and pretty old if you ask me. And WWE can't even rely on them. So what tells you that they're actually proactively building for the future, huh? There's 2 people right now in WWE, 2 people that are, young, and it seems like WWE is actually building them up for the future. And that's Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu. That's it. Those are the only 2 people, man. And even then, WWE does not know how to create stars, man. They don't know how to create stars organically, It seems like their only formula for creating a star is, to have them, come in from NXT and then just you go on a winning streak basically, and then just not get pinned for the next 2 years or something. That's it. they just protect him, overly protect him for a year, trying to make him look dominant and all that stuff. Like they did that with Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker. They're so protected, man. But when it actually comes to the important stuff, when it comes to their character work and all that stuff, WWE has really done nothing for them. I bet none of y'all can say what Braun Breaker's character really is. Because, before joining Seth Rollins, nobody could tell if he was a heel, if he was a face. Like, come on. This guy was a heel, but then he started feuding with Finn Balor out of nowhere. So, is he a face now? Because Finn Balor's obviously a heel. Like, come on, this makes no sense. But then again, these are just two people. You still have guys like Carmelo Hayes and, Austin Theory that are still, they're still young and they have so much potential, but they're being treated like jobbers. Absolute jobbers. Now, I know some of y'all are going to say, oh, Austin Theory, huh? Austin Theory. Well, what are you saying, man? You're tripping. Shut up, all right? Just shut up. Austin Theory has so much potential. He quite literally has everything, but it seems like Triple H just has a personal beef against him, because he was a Vince McMahon guy or something. I don't even know. So yeah, now he's stuck in a boring-ass tag team with, Grayson Waller doing nothing, and Carmelo Hayes is stuck doing nothing as well for God knows what reasons. And when you really look at the NXT roster and you look at the next wave of talent that's going to be coming into the WWE, the main roster, it really sucks because there's probably like a handful of people, a handful of talent that actually seem like promising main event stars, future main event stars. Like, let's think about it, maybe Oba Femi and, maybe Ethan Page or Ricky Saints, but like, that's it. That's it. These are the only guys that, are promising main eventers, future main eventers in WWE on the main roster. Everyone else, forget about it, man. Just forget about it. Like, yeah, Javon Evans is great in my opinion, but I don't think he's a promising main eventer yet. And then you have guys like Trick Williams, who is literally the most overrated guy on the NXT roster that people act like he's going to be the next megastar or something. But really, this guy's promos are just mediocre and his matches are just hot garbage. And then what does the rest of the roster look like, huh? Eddie Thorpe? Eddie Thorpe? And then who else, man? Ridge Holland? Ridge Holland! Dion Lennox? Like, what is this, man? What is this? This is the future of the company, and these are the guys you have? It really sucks because WWE just uses the same formula for everyone. They just get them from whatever they used to be doing, and all of them just learn the craft under the same people, under the same trainers, and all that stuff. So really, the wrestling styles of all of these people, pretty much, it really seems like the same thing. People like to say that, oh, NXT is the best show, best weekly show. But quite literally, a large percentage of that roster is either playing the same type of gimmicks or, cutting the same type of promos or having the same type of matches. Think about the stuff on NXT that's actually, that actually matters, that's actually building towards a promising future. And obviously that's the, NXT women's division because they just got, people like Stephanie Vaquer and, Julia and, who else? Jordan Grace. Yeah, that's right. All those people. And what do they have in common, huh? What do they have in common? They're all from outside of WWE. Ricky Saints, outside of WWE. And now maybe they're going to sign Mariah May. She's outside of WWE. So it goes to show you that this whole like homegrown talent stuff really sucks right now because they just don't know how to create stars anymore, man. They just don't. They just got a bunch of people that were good at throwing around a ball and got rejected by the NFL and barely have any kind of passion for professional wrestling. And obviously because they're all taught under the same people, under the same trainers and all that stuff, they pretty much all wrestle the same style. They pretty much all feel like the same person, man. Other than, like I said, a few exceptions that, really feel like, future main eventers. You have your Oba Femis, your Ricky Saints, and, maybe an Ethan Page as well. But again, two of them are literally from outside of WWE. So the only homegrown and, promising talent in NXT right now is Oba Femi. Like, that's it. Yeah, it's just Oba Femi, man. And how much you want to bet they're going to give him the same kind of push, pretty much the exact same thing they're doing with Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu right now. He's going to move up to the main roster. He's going to have a bunch of squash matches. And then, he's going to win the IC or US Championship. And he's going to be protected for about like a year and a half without telling actual real stories with him to elevate his character and all that stuff. Like, they're going to do the same thing, They just give the same push to everyone, man. Like, they got the formula with Gunther, with how he held the IC champion and was dominant for so long. Like, they just take that formula and just apply it to everyone. They just do the same thing with everyone. Now, obviously, when I say that WWE needs to start focusing on the younger talent more, I'm not saying, Braun Breaker needs to be the world champion right now or anything like that. But it really sucks to see that WWE is horrible at building future stars right now. Whether it's, how they give, guys like Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu, and all those people the most cliche type of pushes, or, whether it's guys like Carmelo Hayes or, Austin Theory that are literally stuck in catering for no reason. While, the main eventers that are showing up on Raw and SmackDown almost every single week, they're all like, what, either pushing 40 or well past 40, and they're not going to be around in like 5 years' time. And when all those guys are going to start to hang up the boots or go part-time, WWE is going to realize that they need young talent, and they're all of a sudden going to try to start building up young talent, and it's just going to fail because they have nobody, like I said. But yeah, WWE really needs to start focusing on building up their younger talent, or like right now. Anyways, yeah guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.